Good evening, everybody. My name is Darhan Maganov, and I am the first-year student of SST. My major is computer science, and today, for my persuasive speech, I have decided to take the topic of how programming does teach us useful habits of productiveness. And let me start my presentation. What is programming for most of the people? For most of the people, programming is like this. Common representation of what usually programmers do. But code is a useful source of wisdom, and truly, programmers can be taught how to use, how to manage their life by just coding, by making new programs, and I will explain how exactly these habits will help you to improve your productiveness. Programmers have a lot of computer languages in their daily use. Every time you use new computer language for programming, you create new type of programs. And it is like going to Italy with like a dictionary in Italian, when you have just a number of words and you have to implement them effectively and how to know how to use them efficiently. And that is what programming is. And that is how you as programmer can improve your abilities and a number of skills. First of all, it is ordering of elements. Usually, programming is about changing the values, and there are values of different types. There are, for example, strings or integer values which contain non-decimal numbers, or float numbers which have decimal numbers. And this variety of numbers should be stored in definite order in order to not be confused and to operate with them effectively. And that is how programmers behave. In usual life, you have to sort your things in life in the same way. For example, you store documents in some folder, or for example, you put all your dry clothes in one box. And that is how this ordering of elements is very useful and crucial in your life. When you, by creating your programs every day, just get used to how order elements according to their type, or for example, frequency of usage, and so on and so forth. And that is the first useful habit for your productiveness, when you know when and how your elements are stored. The second one is making notes. When programmers create programs, they can do some comments, write some comments in the program exactly. And that is how it is easier to later on, when you return to your program and when you want to read it again, and just to know what it does and how it executes, you can just read these notes and you will not be confused what this program does and how it does. And in the same way, you can use, for example, your daily journal, or for example, notes on your refrigerator, just to have some notes of how to implement things or what to do. For example, don't drink this juice, it's out of date, and so on and so forth. And here on the screen you can see how in the program you implement these comments. For example, print the message, and it tells what this line exactly does. And for example, in usual life, when you have a note, and you know which things, how different things are implemented in different ways. And it is very useful because you can implement things faster when you can read and understand your program faster, and that is how your productiveness increases and improves. Another important thing is freeing up memory. When programmers deal with programs, they also deal with memory. There's, for example, hard disk memory, which contains constant information, and RAM, which contains only temporary information. And the same happens in your life. You always know the, for example, name of your mother or father, or your date of birth, and that's how your constant information is stored in your mind. But for example, knowing which assignment is due, for example, for communication foundations, it is kind of temporary information which you can store temporarily. And that's how your productiveness increases, when you contain only the most useful information in your mind, and just temporarily contain less useful information for a short period of time. And that is how you can practice it by creating new programs as a programmer in computer science. Another important thing is performance. There are always many ways of performing each program, but you as a programmer are always interested in implementing program as fast as possible. And that is how you pursue better performance, because it will show that you are a better programmer if you can succeed in it. And that is how in your usual life you're searching for better way of dealing with program, and that is how you are taught for this skill for productiveness. Just finding a better way of doing things, of coping with problems, and so on and so forth. And that is how you can improve your performance and become a better employee at your work, for example. But not only performance is important. When you are, as a programmer, just deal with program, you should not just solve the problems of day-to-day routine. You should implement your program in order to make them available and working properly always. And that is how you pursue this constant and high quality. And that is why it is important in your usual life when you pursue this productiveness. When you try to be a better, for example, employee or a better student, when you pursue your quality, when you write in your essay or preparing your presentation, and that is how aiming at a better quality is another important thing which programmers usually are taught by making these programs, and that is very crucial ones as well. So, I'm not saying that productiveness can be taught only by programming skills, only by writing programs, but when you are a computer programmer and when you learn new computer languages, when you create new type of programs, you always face new challenges which you have to solve. And that is how you can master your skills when you are required to make a program faster, when this program should be very good in terms of performance. And that is how you can implement it in your daily life by being more productive, by pursuing better quality. When you learn how to find a better way of solving the problem, when you know how to deal with information and how to store it and how to comment it, for example, in the notes. And that is how your productiveness can be improved by this everyday practicing in computer language. And you may be productive already, but when you deal with computer programming, you can sharpen your skills, you can master them, and that is how you can improve this type of your life and succeed in the field of productiveness by using computer language programming. Thank you.
본격적으로 이제